Hey everyone, today we're going to be making our very own steakhouse dinner at home. We got a nice ribeye steak. We're going to let that sit at room temperature for about 1 hour. The closer to room temperature the steak is before cooking, the more tender the meat will be. After letting it sit, we can begin seasoning. Generously salt every side of your steak. If it's thick like this ribeye, it can take plenty of salt, so don't be scared to be generous. Preheat your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Place your steak on a wire-lined baking sheet. A great way to make sure that the steak is cooked right is by using a meat thermometer. If you don't have an in-oven one like mine, start by cooking the beef for about 45 minutes and keep checking it till it reaches our target temperature. For medium rare, we're going to be looking to hit 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So next, let's talk pans. You're going to want to use either a stainless steel or cast iron pan to get hot enough surface to get a good crust to form. So before the meat is ready to be pulled out, set your pan to a medium-high heat and let it get ripping hot. Once it's hot, add a little bit of canola oil or another high smoke point oil and let that heat up in the pan. Once the meat is to temp, take it out. It is going to look ugly, but that's okay. It will look much better after searing. Go ahead and place it into a pan and give it a few good presses down. You're going to want to hear a nice loud sizzling sound. After about a minute, check to see if a good crust is formed on the other side. Give it a flip. Make sure to press this side down as well. Next, add 2 good-sized pats of butter, about a half a tablespoon of minced garlic. Let that melt a bit, and then you're going to start basting your steak. While that's finishing, we're going to get ready to cook our green beans, so while the steak is finishing, put your favorite non-stick skillet over some medium-high heat. Take your steak out of the pan, place it on a cutting board. Add another pat of butter on top, and then you're going to go cover the whole thing in aluminum foil. You're going to want to let that steak rest for about 10 minutes before you begin carving it. In the non-stick skillet, add 2 more pats of butter, let that melt a little bit. Then you're going to add your green beans. Season those with some salt, some pepper, and maybe a little bit of garlic. Give them a good toss to mix them up, and then throw a cover on them and let them sit for about 6 to 8 minutes. After the steak has rested, it's time to carve. You always want to try and carve your steak against the grain. For a ribeye, this doesn't really matter much, but if you have a strip steak, make sure you take a look before you begin cutting. For this steak, I cut the cap off and the tail first, and then next I cut the fillet into 1/2-inch slices. Here's a cross section, and you can see that this method gives the outside a nice sear while keeping the inside to medium to medium rare. And there you have it. Cooking a steak at home is not as difficult as it seems, and it will be much cheaper than a night at your local steakhouse. And you can swap out the green beans for your favorite steakhouse sides, whatever you want. Give it a try.